Hello and welcome back to my flosstube. I'm Emma. I use pronouns M or Emma, and it's been a while. So obviously, Christmas happened for me and for many of you. Also, happy holidays if you celebrate any other holiday during this time. I was also really unwell for quite a long time. I had the flu vaccine from work, and this actually happened to me a couple of years ago when I had the flu vaccine. Then I actually got flu. Which is not what's supposed to happen, and it shouldn't stop you from getting the flu vaccine if you're offered it. But that's been my experience. I would still rather do that than have the flu. Technically, hopefully, I mean, I'll try again next year, and hopefully that time I won't have flu. But obviously, if I try again next year and I still get full-blown flu again, I probably will just stop having the vaccine because it doesn't seem to work for me. But yeah, it was quite an unpleasant couple of weeks, and then I went home to see my parents, and then came back. We had a few weeks here which were just absolutely, work is just really, really busy at the moment, and then we went back to see my parents for that just before Christmas. We had Christmas Day here, and now it is post-Christmas, and you can see we still have all our decorations up. We had a really nice day with family down here in London, and now we're just, I've got a couple of more days before I have to go back to work, and then back into the swing of things, really. I have a lot to show you. I think this is going to be quite long. Grab a cup of tea or coffee, depending on what time of day it is for you, settle in and enjoy. I'm going to start with a couple of random things. So these earrings are awesome. They're from a shop in the UK called Livia Wednesday. I'm really excited about her. I've got a few things from her. I got some ghost earrings as well, which are just super cool. Look, they're little ghosts. I love them. And her service is amazing. So I'd really highly recommend her if you're looking for some, cute earrings that are a little bit outside the norm. I think I mentioned her last time as well, but I'm still really excited about everything she does. She did some lobster ones for Christmas. They were great. Yeah, she's great. I found a perfume subscription service, which I know is a weird thing, maybe for they're called Hoo-Ha, Hoohaa, and I know there are similar things in the US, but this is a UK-based one. And they send you 10 millilitres of different perfume every month, and then you have that. This is the November one, which is Veni by Histrada Perfume, and it is absolutely incredible. I didn't know what to expect because I've been off fragrance for a long time because of migraines, but my migraine medication went up, so now I can have perfume again, which is amazing. And I'm very careful. If I'm going into work, I won't put perfume on because I don't want to trigger other people. But if I'm at home or if I'm going out to a restaurant where people might expect people wearing perfume, or now with social distancing, you're far enough away that it doesn't really matter. But this is incredible. It smells amazing, and I would never buy a full price bottle of this. It's ridiculously expensive, but this was affordable. The December one is called Cosmic Incense and is a special one. It's not quite as much my cup of tea as this one, but it's different and interesting, and I enjoy having both of them. I think when I started with this one, I just put too much on, but then I put less on for Christmas Day and it was better. But yeah, I put this one on and my partner was like, "Oh, it's raspberries and pepper." I was like, "How do you know that? That's exactly what they said. How can you identify that?" Anyway. But yeah, that's something that I've been really enjoying. I'm looking forward to getting January's as well. And at some point I'll stop because I'll have enough to last me and I'll pick it up again. But for now, I'm really enjoying it. What else? Let's dive into the project. I had a big finish. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know. I had a really big finish, and that is the new normal at the top. The New Normal by Longdog Patterns. I've been stitching on this since March. I finished it in early December. And there she is. Oh, it's wonky. In all her glory. I'm really, really happy about this finish. It came out perfectly. The red and the white look spectacular. The white thread is it's a sulky variegated, I think it's 4001. And I used a whole king spool and then a full little spool and part of a second little spool to do this. I reckon it's just over 40,000 stitches. I can't tell you exactly because when it went into Pattern Keeper, it lost like 4 long verticals from where the pages meet. So I had to do those separately. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with it. There are so many tiny details in here. As with all Longdogs, you could look at it for hours and find different things. Oh no, doggo. The intention is to frame it and put it up on the wall so that we can have it as a reminder. Well, not as a reminder, but just to admire. But at some point we'll have too many framed pieces of art, and some of them will have to go in cupboards. So it may not get framed, but hopefully it will. Also, framing is expensive, so we'll see. But yeah, that one, the intention is to frame it. There's a sneak peek of the back. You can see pretty much echoes the front. But yeah, really, really happy with that, and very, very pleased to be finished. Although I will miss it now. I also had a small finish, so I finished Summer House Stitchworks, Fragments in Time. This is number 1. I didn't quite follow the pattern. There's extra stitches around the edge, but I decided that I was done. So I finished it. And I've already put some interfacing on the back. And what I'm planning on doing is trying to make a dice tray out of it for a friend, like a very small dice tray, like a tray to roll dice into. So I'll make it 3D and then put something on the back so that it looks finished. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, it will go in my stitch journal. But yeah, happy with how that turned out. I think it looks really cute. I also finished Blackbird. The Blackbird by Blackbird Designs, and that I took a little video of because that was my Secret Santa present for my colleague, and so that's gone. But that I did. It's on. Let me see, because that's on a hand dyed. Those other ones are just on like little bits. So the Blackbird is on Fox and Rabbit 36 count Mayflower. It's finished backed with the same fabric because I could just get it out of the same cut, which meant that I didn't have any left, which was great. It's trimmed with some pom-poms from Lady.Create, some black ones. I think I talked that through in the video, so I'll try not to double myself too much. And it's filled with round walnuts. But let me cut to the video so you can see what I did and how it looks. I'm really pleased with it. Here's the video. So we're now at the dining room table, which is slightly less aesthetic, but does mean the dog won't try and eat this, so probably for the best. And I want to show you this because it is going tomorrow to work for my Secret Santa, so I thought I'd show you it fully finished and sort of in 3D before, rather than just taking pictures. So this is Blackbird by Blackbird Designs. And I have finished it into a pincushion, as is kind of how it's meant to be. It is filled with walnut chippings, walnut grains. It's called lizard litter. When you buy it from Amazon, it's called lizard litter. I had to buy it from Amazon because I needed it very, very quickly so that I could give it for Secret Santa. And it makes it quite satisfying. It's got like a weight to it. I put interfacing on the back of this. This is 36 count Fox and Rabbit Mayflower, and I've put interfacing on the back of it. These are the scraps of the interfacing. You can see it's very lightweight interfacing, so that it wouldn't come through, but I'm not sure it would have anyway because 36 count is so finely woven. And I used one strand of Gentle Art cast iron skillet, so you can see there is some very subtle variegation, but it's not a super variegated black, so you can't really see it. And I hope that the person I give it to is going to really like it. This was a 9 by 13 piece, I think, and it gave me enough to do both the back and the front from the same piece, which is great. And
and that's used the whole piece of fabric, and then this trim on the side, that is it's Ladydog Creates, a pom-pom trim that I got from them, although to be honest I could have used any black pom-pom trim. It did not need to be Ladydog Creates, but that is a very nice one, and it's good to support shops in the cross-stitch industry. And I don't know if you can see the join, which is on this corner. Hold it too close. Basically, all I did was strip the pom-poms off a tiny bit, three pom-poms off one bit, and then overlap it and sew it together, and you literally can't see it, which is fantastic. So yeah, that is my little pincushion, which is going to my friend, either for decorative or for actual pincushion purposes, and I'm quite pleased with it.
And so yeah, I gave it to her. She was really happy, and yeah, very happy with how it turned out. Let me move on to what else I've been making. I've been doing a lot of quilting, both by hand and by machine, because my sewing machine died. It's repairable. Oh, sad dog. Chris is handling the dog. The sewing machine died, but it's fixable. But what I decided when it died was that it would cost a lot of money to fix it, and basically I want an upgrade anyway. The one I had, it was perfect for what I wanted to do for the last 14 years of my life. But what I want to do now is slightly different. So I have this chair is very creaky. I have slightly different requirements now than what I had then, so I wanted something with a wider space between the arm and the body of the sewing machine so that I can quilt in it. My one is terrible for free motion embroidery. It doesn't go sideways for some reason. Again, that's probably a fixable thing, but I don't want to spend the money on it. So yeah, what I decided was that machine, which is totally fixable, is going to go to my mum. She'll get it repaired and get it sorted, and then she'll have a machine, because hers broke, completely fell apart, broke. She'd had it for a long time. And I got an upgrade, and you can't quite see it behind me because it's on another table, but I got a Brother Innoviz machine, and it is designed for kind of the next step up, basically, when you're moving beyond basic sewing. So yeah, it's the next level up, and it is incredible. It has knee lift function, so you can use a knee lever to lift up the presser foot, which, if you'd asked me before, I would have been it's probably not going to make that much difference, but it's radically different, and it has a few other functions which are really cool, which I won't geek out on now, because this is not a sewing machine channel. But yes, I'm very pleased with that. I'm very happy. But in the meantime, while that was coming and I couldn't sew anything by machine, I started an English paper piecing quilt. And English paper piecing is all done by hand, and basically you sew or glue. Originally it was done by, originally you basted, so you sewed stitches that would come out to sew fabric around the edge of these paper pieces. So then you'd have this shape, but it would be secured around the edge of these paper pieces. Since then, there have been lots of different methods that have been come up with so that you don't have to sew these stitches. My favourite one is glue basting. So you use glue to stick fabric down, and then you can just peel it off and pull the paper out when you're done. What that creates are these incredible geometric quilts. So I have to move back slightly. So it's not quite attached in a way that I can hold it so you can see all of it. But what this means, basically, for English paper piecing, is it's slightly easier to fussy cut or focus cut particular patterns that you want into your shape. So you can see I've cut that beetle all the way around in the same place, or you can see the animals in these hexagons are cut in specific places. The bees in the middle should all be very similar. They're not quite the same, but they're very similar. So you can get these very kind of intricate patterns. I don't know if you can hear the dog, but he's just making sad mopey noises because he's he can't come and curl me at the moment. So yeah, it's I've got a fair ways to go, but I'm really pleased with it so far, and I'm just going for colours and animals. Bold colour, lots of animals is my feeling. And what I do is basically when I get to the next section, so like when I got to cutting out these hexagons, at that point I chose what fabric was going here. So I haven't pre-cut the whole thing. I just cut at the point when I get to it. So yeah, very happy with that. And it will eventually become a quilt, and you can square it off by pliquing it onto a big square piece of fabric. But what I will probably do is keep sort of I'll get Chris to put in a picture here of what the shape is of the quilt. So you can see it creates this kind of like roundish shape. And I think what I will do is bind the edge of that onto some backing to keep that kind of round shape, because I think it's quite spectacular. So yes, that's the plan for that one. I also, I've shown you some of the blocks for this bird quilt before that I'm making in preparation for making my Christmas bird quilt that my parents have given me the fabric for now. So I had to stop halfway through because the sewing machine broke, which was at the point when I picked up the English paper piecing quilt. But then the sewing machine arrived, so I was able to finish it. And I have no idea how I'm going to show you this because it's absolutely massive. And this isn't even a full-size quilt. I will try and show you it, and then I'll probably just put a picture in. What? I didn't even know what you could see. Oh, okay, that's not bad. Okay, so you can see that's the top row. There's the bottom row. I hope you got a pretty good view. I'll just get Chris to put in a picture here that I took of it as well. But I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm glad that I did a practice because I learnt a lot while I was doing it. Oh, there goes the dog. About the piecing and protocols for doing things. It was very educational and has put me in good stead for doing my full-size one. And I absolutely love these birds. I think this macaw is one of my favourites. Maybe not my absolute favourite, but I really love it. I think the colours came out right. My regret with this quilt is that I chose this pink. Well, I bought a fat quarter set to make these birds with, and this pink is too close to the backing pink, and so a lot of the birds in the yellow category don't quite stand out enough against the background. But I will try. I'm also going to use this to practice the free motion quilting that I want to do on my big quilt, and I will try and make sure that the free motion quilting highlights things like also. So this colour here is supposed to be the lightest colour, and I think if I had just swapped this and the pink around, it would have been quite a bit better. But anyway, you learn these things as you do them. So I'm still really pleased with it. I think it was a really good learning experience, and it came out still really well. And at some point, someone's baby will get it, and they'll be delighted. It'll be a really good baby present for someone at some point. So yeah, can't say fairer than that, can you? Then in the meantime, since then, gosh, they're warm. It's sat on my computer. Since then, it was Christmas, and my new sewing machine arrived, and I got all the fabrics for my main quilt. And I made cockatoo heads. Cockatoo. So, let me just show you them, because I'm really, really pleased with how these have turned out. So, not necessarily the order they'll be in the quilt, but pink, orange, yellow. Well, it's coming up a lot paler than it is in real life. That's quite bright in real life. Same for that. It's a lot brighter in real life. That's green, not teal. Interesting. Tealy blue. Deeper blue. And then purple. And I'm really pleased with how the colours have come off for all of that, because you don't necessarily know until you like sew it together how it's going to look. I think it's come out really well. So yeah, I'm excited to keep doing that. It's not going to be a fast process. I cut out all the fabrics yesterday into like the big chunks, and then when you go to sew each bird you have to cut much smaller chunks, so it's a slow process and it's going to take a while, but that's the point. It's not a race to finish these things. It's a slow enjoyable process to get there. And when I go back to work I don't have like hours and hours of sewing time anyway, so it's not like I can race to finish. A few other things that I've been working on. So I started a new piece. So this is Moon Mare by Nadezhda Gavrilenkova. I don't have much of a start on it, so I'm not even sure which way up this goes, to be honest. No, I do know, because I always roll to this side, so... Made a small start on Moon Mare. But I got really excited by all the different whites and greys in this piece. So yeah, I'm excited about continuing with that one. This is on Dusky Blue. It's just a Swigart colour, but I'm not sure what colour blue it is. But it's like the sort of muted blue. It's not the same blue. That's the Azure blue for Sea Dragon, and you can see they're different colours. And while I've got it up, let's have a look at Sea Dragon. Oh, it's got a needle in it. It doesn't it's got a needle in it. Oh, it does. That's unusual. But I didn't finish a stitch. So Sea Dragon. You can see I've been just making progress on this side of the piece in the dark colours. This is actually, so the Whitgo numbers have now been called for January, and Sea Dragon is my Whitgo. Hang on, let me just pull it up in Drive so you can see which number it is. I think it's 2 and 19 that have been called. Come on, Drive, you can do it. Get back into it. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. I'm having real issues. My internet is slow today. Anyway, while that comes up. So my Whitgo goal for this, that's why I'm talking out my computer. My Whitgo goal for this is 2,000 stitches. It's currently got 8,600, so I'm trying to get to 8,800. So I'm trying to get to 10,800. This is number 2 for me. So that should be relatively easy. Put 2,000 stitches in. I'm not. None of my Whitgo goals are like, this will be challenging, particularly. Not good at it. I love this piece, so I would like to finish it. It's well over halfway now. So yeah, that's Sea Dragon. So let's roll back up. And if you're stitching on a dragon and you'd like to join my herebedragonssal, it's just me at the moment, so join me. Here be dragons. Herebedragonssal. 2 S's, I believe. You can find any post of mine where I've spoken about Sea Dragon, and it will be there. I also picked up my Transpride. No, it's not the Transpride tapestry. I just got excited because it is a Transpride piece. It's my Inclusive Pride flag. Blackbird piece. And put in. I finished off the white over here, and I put in all of the brown diagonal, and I start on this black diagonal. And when I got into this, it was kind of hypnotic, and I really enjoyed it. So this is another Whitgo goal, which is just to finish it, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. But yeah, it was very like, oh yeah, this is quite. Once you get into the rhythm, and I'm quite looking forward. So the diagonal rows I think are harder because they're on the diagonal. I think when I get into the straight rows, it'll be a lot simpler because the patterns on the straight, I just think they'll be simpler. So yeah, that's that one, and that's by Peppermint Purple. That pattern. So let's pop in this side. And I've also put some work into Princess Elliana. So let's see if I can... Princess Elliana is on such a massive piece of fabric that trying to unroll her is a bit of a challenge. Here she is. There is all of her so far. And what I was doing was filling in more on these flowers, these purple bits, to try and get them all up to scratch. Get them all up to scratch. Get them all kind of to the same point, because a lot of the colours repeat through these flowers. So it made sense to do them all at the same time. So that's what I've been doing, is just working on them all at the same time to get them in. So yeah, that was quite enjoyable. I'll pick her up again at some point. I do enjoy working on her. The issue is that she's a paper pattern, so it's not one that I reach for first before anything else. It's kind of like it's a challenge to reach for a paper pattern. I have seen people talk about scanning them in. So they scan one page in and then put the scan into Pattern Keeper. So it's not, you only have like one, what is that, like fluff? Got it. You scan like one page into Pattern Keeper, or like a page worth, and then you can put it into Pattern Keeper, and it doesn't recognise the symbols, but you can at least like mark it off. And I'm quite tempted to do that because it's just not. It's a lot higher activation to work on paper patterns for me. Sorry, I'm still not super well, so I'm still all like phlegmy. I should have got hot water, because then it would have helped like blow it through. That sounded weird, I'm sorry. You didn't need to know that. The other exciting thing that happened was I got my Chatelaine kit. And the first thing that I'll do is pop in the video here of me unboxing my Chatelaine kit. So, well, unpackaging. So here it is.
Okay, so apologies if you can hear the little tick-tacking of claws in the background. That is my very small doggy. Hopefully he won't stop barking. But my Chatelaine kit just came in, and I'm hoping I'm going to start it this evening, depending on how my coursework hand-in is going. So before I... one nail of nail polish still going. Before I, dive in and start unwinding things and bobbinating potentially, although they're all specialty threads, so I may not bobbinate. I haven't decided yet. I thought I would show you what I got, because it's very exciting. This is probably the most expensive project I have ever kitted up. It is the Octopus Treasure Cave, which I'll show you a picture of here. Well, Chris will insert it. And it is horrifically expensive. Zarina at Hawkins Hobbies. Yeah. Zarina and Robert from Hawkins Hobbies kitted this up for me. Now, if you go to Hawkins Hobbies website, you won't see... Apologies if you can hear the rain as well, the storm has just hit. If you go to Hawkins Hobbies website, you won't see Chatelaine patterns on their website. But if you email them, they can kit up any Chatelaine for you. Now, Chatelaines are Chatelaine is a specific designer. She is unfortunately deceased now, but she designed a very kind of specific style of pattern. They're very rich looking. They have a lot of very expensive threads. They have a lot of beading. There are some smaller ones, but I've gone for one of the quite big ones, and they're just very, very pretty. The Octopus Treasure Cave is it's kind of a round border, and then inside is an octopus, and there are jellyfish as well. It's very cute. I'm going to do it on darker fabric. I'm very excited about it. I asked Serena to start kitting this up for me in May. Yeah, May. So I have been waiting for this kit for a long time. Unfortunately, some of the threads, so there are some Glorianas in here. They're really hard to get hold of at the moment, and in fact one of them is basically impossible, so I am substituting. and that I don't have yet, but I'll show you when it gets here what I'm substituting for. Wow, that's heavy rain. But yes, so let me show you what I got, and then obviously you'll see it as I stitch it. But so, start with the beads. So I have these. So it came with this little note to say, basically, if you're not aware, and I was aware, but obviously some of you might not be, Swarovski are basically stopping selling their crafting range. So some of these have been swapped out, but I mean, they're basically the same things. So I've got some little square ones and some little flower ones in there. Cubes and flower crystals. Then I've got some bicones. So bicones in 3 different colours in there. Then we get into Delica Beads, and these are Delica Beads in lots of different shades. The camera's struggling to focus on those just because they're in such tiny bags. So there's turquoise, it's kind of an AB, like a sort of dark AB. It doesn't have a name, but yeah, I guess like a dark with it, sort of an AB shimmer. And if you've not come across beads, AB shimmer is the kind of the oil slick look, where it has that kind of rainbow shine to it on top. So if you see a bead that is labelled AB, that is what you're going to get, is that kind of oil slick shine to it. So yeah, so there's those ones. Those are all size 11. They look really small for size 11, but yep, they are all labelled size 11. Then these kind of greeny ones, more delicate, size 11. Those are basically clear. And then I've got some topazzy ones. Those are like green, almost Christmas tree greeny. They look like they've got AB shimmer on them. And then those are kind of blue with an AB shimmer. So that's all the beads for it. And then we get into the threads. So this is Gloriana Petite, Princess Pearl Petite. I've never come across it before, but it's a pearl thread. I need 3 of these. So this is Monet's Pond, and you would stitch this with a single. It's single strand, it doesn't separate. You stitch it as it comes, and that's very nice. Then same thing again, another Princess Pearl Petite, and that one is called Cinnamon. So there, very pretty. The other Glorianas that I have are the 2 that have arrived. No, 3 that have arrived. Here's the other one. You can tell Gloriana silk from the other silks. It's thicker. I mean, it's 12 strand, but it just, I don't know, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but if you can see, it looks thicker. So this is a Dinky Dye silk, this is a Gloriana, and it just looks different. So this is red clay. It's like a reddy yellowy one. I think that's mostly in the Octopus, but I could be wrong. Then 2 kind of greeny bluey ones. So the very blue one, that is jewel turquoise, and then this greeny one, that's peacock blue, I think. Yeah, peacock blue. And the one that I'm missing, that is basically just impossible to get hold of at the moment, is called Blue Hawaii. And I will be swapping that out for something else because I need it to start, and I'm unwilling to wait any longer. So we'll move on to the Karen Collection Water Lilies, which I've never worked with before, so looking forward to that. I apologise, I've got a cold. I think it's a reaction to the flu vaccine that I had like 2 weeks ago now, but it brought on this really bad cold, and I've had it for a week and it's just not going anywhere. So these are the water lilies. They feel really nice. They feel very similar to the Glorianas. I think they're also 12 strand silk. It's definitely more than 6. So I'm just looking at this end here to figure out how many strands are in it, but it's definitely more than 6. So those are the water lilies. This one is Glacier. It says these are colour fast, but be sure to test reds and dark colours. I probably won't be washing this piece, to be honest, because it's got so many different specialty threads in it. So yeah, that one's Glacier. And then I've got Celadon, which is sort of a beautiful sage green with it's not picking up, but it's got like bits of blue running through it, almost like very pale blue. Beautiful colours. And then cedar. I have to be very careful when I'm stitching not to get cedar and celadon mixed up, because that would be a very easy mistake to make, and they're quite different colours. And then there's quite a few different dinky dyes. Let me just start pulling them. So here's all the dinky dyes that are in it. Apologies, I'm going to cough. Basically non-stop coughing recently. It's been really unpleasant. So this is Pindy, which I absolutely adore this colour. I really like working with dinky dyes. I have quite a lot of them in my stash already, so I'm really not sad at all to be adding. Jungle Green. If you'll recall, the twisted band sample that I'm working on from Northern Expressions needlework, that is all stitched in dinky dyes, and also the Shannon Christine Designs, the fish mandala, I can't remember what it's called, Null Arbor, that's the name of this one, sort of a beautiful yellowy sandy colour. So the Shannon Christine fish mandala that I stitched earlier this year, that had a lot of dinky dyes in it, so I do have quite a big stash of dinky dyes already, so adding more to them is really not a problem. It just means that if I'm going to kit up a project in silks, I can go to my dinky dye stash and look and see what's there. And that one's Gidgee. I think dinky dyes must be Australian. Certainly a lot of their names have Australian overtones to me. When I hear them, they seem to have Australian overtones. So I don't know if that is the case, or if I'm just like making that up. Feel free to tell me if you know. And then finally, what I got from Zarina were these 3 Petite Treasure braids, and you know that I I would go for Petite Treasure braid over anything else. But this has Petite Treasure braid kitted. It's got no Krynic charted. So yeah, just ice. Then the blue, and that is number 1, the very bright gold. So yes, they will go into my Petite Treasure braid stash. So that is everything that came with the kit. I didn't get any of the DMC threads because I don't need them. I will just pull from my DMC stash, and I've ordered a few extra ones. In fact, they're on here. You can see these are the ones that I had to buy extra. This is what came with my DMC shade card. So yeah, I had to buy a few extra. It cost me about £4 to add those into my stash, but I'm never sad to bulk out my my DMC stash. And yes, so when this extra thread comes for this that I'm swapping in for the Gloriana, I'll show you what it looks like. I'll show you a picture of what the Gloriana would have looked like, and hopefully it won't be too far different. But yeah, so that is my Chatelaine kit. I'm really looking forward to starting this, and hopefully we'll start to see some progress really soon. So yeah, see you all soon. Bye.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that. I think I was quite ill when I recorded that. It was a while ago. I don't remember. So apologies if I was really rambly. It was really exciting when it came. I ordered it in May, and the reason that it took so long to get here was that Gloriana silks are basically impossible to get hold of. At the moment, there's real supply chain issues. And since it got here, it's pretty much the only thing I've stitched on. Because I'm so excited about it. So this is the dinky dye that I subbed in for Blue Hawaii, which is gone. You can't get Gloriana Blue Hawaii unless you're willing to ship it from somewhere, or wait for another 3 months, which I'm not. And this is Princess Pearl, which is the worst thread in the world. I hate it. Especially for doing backstitch with. I don't know what she was thinking. Will it focus on that? Is it focusing? Kind of. I mean, the effect is really nice, but it's just horrific to stitch with. I don't know what she was thinking. She was thinking that it looks nice, not about the stitching process. Anyway, it looks great. I love this fabric. This is... Go back to my other tab. That's the wrong tab. Gothic, I think. Oh no, did I not put it in my... Chatelaine? Nope. Plans? Gothic, yeah, Gothic by Picture This Plus, which I bought specially, shipped from America. And this piece is just spectacular. And I cut too big of it because I don't know how big the margins I'm going to want are, and then I've positioned it too high. So even if I want really big margins, I'm not going to have them. But I've still got loads left. Like, I bought a massive piece, so it's fine. It is what it is. I bought it specifically for this, so I'm not going to weep over the fact that I cut too much off for this piece. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it's pretty spectacular. I think it's going to look amazing. And then, so what happens is there's all these outlines which I'm working on at the moment, and then the octopus sits in the middle, and there's like things that go around him, and yeah, it's great. It's really exciting. And then there's all of these beads, just huge amounts. Well, you saw the kit video. Huge amounts of beads, and it's really exciting. I'm really excited. Anyway, let me fold that back up because you've seen what there is to see. Oh, the most exciting thing about it, of course, was that the border matched up at the bottom, which meant I didn't have to unstitch any of it, which would have been heartbreaking. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. And we're nearing the end. I just want to talk about my other Whipgo piece. So it was 19 and 2, and 19 for me is this one. Queen of the Seas? Why is my brain not working? Dark Queen of the Seas, close, by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And you can see I've got all of parts. No, I haven't done a fish. Shit. All of part 2, most of part 1 done. And my I have 2 Whipgo goals for her. And I thought, let's make life interesting. One of them is work on tentacles. So the tentacles are down here. And one of them is work on skin. So the skin is up here. And the one that's been called is work on skin. So we're going up. And that's 7 days worth of stitching on her skin in January. So we're going up. So we're going to get boobs and skin. But yeah, I do love this piece. I was like, oh, do I want to swap it out? I don't know if I like it. And then I've got it out. I was like, oh, no, I do like it. And I love this fabric. This is Aya Light from Chromatic Alchemy, and she's a spectacular hand dyer. Just brilliant. So yeah. We rate Sam from Chromatic Alchemy on this channel. And then let's talk about 2022, because we're nearly there. It's the 27th of December. Who knows when you'll see this, because sometimes it takes a while for Chris to have time to edit them. But for me, it's the 27th of December. There are a few things that I'm thinking about. So, you may have seen that I'm really into English paper piecing now. Naomi Alice PC. If you search Focus English paper piecing sew along, or something similar, you will come across her on Instagram. She hosts a yearly English paper piecing. Well, she calls it paper piecing, specifically not English paper piecing. If you want to search for a tutorial, you're better off searching for English paper piecing, because there's different types of paper piecing and quilting. English paper piecing will take you to specifically what you're looking for. She hosts a focus cutting version of English paper piecing on Instagram year long. And focus cutting is where you choose your motifs specifically and you position them, and sometimes you also pattern match across the seams. And I want to join in this year. You make one ring of motifs a week. So it's not a huge commitment. And by the end of the year, you should have enough to make something like a pillow or a quilt or something, depending on how big what you choose to do is. So I have chosen, this year is kites. So kites are, apologies for noises. Kites are this shape. And if you have enough of them, 6, they come together to form a hex. Not quite a hexagon, but I think it is a hexagon actually. Yeah. This is half of it. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, a hexagon. And so you see there's lots of opportunities for pattern matching within or across the seams. So I'm quite excited. I chose 1-inch kites, so they're quite small. So it's not a lot of sewing down the sides or along the tops, but it will also make quite a small thing. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And I got a acrylic template as well, just so that I can see what I'm placing it on when I'm cutting my pieces. So yeah, I'm joining in that, and I'll make one thing a week, and then at the end I'll have 52 things to join together. And she gives you a specific thing to focus on every week, so it's not just like a choose your own adventure. There's a specific thing to focus on. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and it's kind of a way to develop my own style, but in a guided way. So I'm really excited about that. I am also obviously making my bird quilt, and I want to develop my free motion quilting. Free motion quilting is when you sew on top of the quilted piece to hold it together, and designs. So I want to find ways to practice that. So I'm thinking about cushions, coasters, placemats, things that I can do that on in a smaller fashion before I move on to bigger pieces. And I'll start with the bird quilt that I've already made before I move on to the massive one. Then I obviously have all my projects that I'm already working on and that we've already spoken about. I'm moving on to the Modern Folk Embroidery. So my focus piece this year is going to be the Modern Folk Embroidery 2018 Stitch Along. So that's the 4 Seasons one. And it's going to be, so hopefully there'll be a picture up here of what the stitching looks like, and it's going to be on this piece of Jewelry Designs fabric. And you can see I already started because I wanted to test my colours. So it's going to be this very tone-on-tone purple and whitish on purple. But I'm excited about it, and I think it's gonna, it's less not obvious in real life. It's really exciting. And this is the Silks for You silk, and I've already wound some onto this bobbin, so you can see I'm all ready to go. This is actually my silky bobbin from the Longdog that I used up my King's Spool. So it holds fond memories, treasured memories. This King's Spool has been with me a while. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I also really want to finish my Twisted Band sampler this year. I love that piece. I haven't picked it up for a while just because it's quite high activation. Just because if you're in a my words so hard today. If you're in a section which is not cross stitch and is novelty stitches, they're not novelty stitches, but they're like stitches that aren't crosses. Specialty stitches. I can't be anywhere aside from at my computer because I need to be able to see on my computer the directions for the stitches. And it's very difficult to do that on my phone because if I'm watching anything, they won't be big enough. So that means that I have to be right here to do that. So that's quite a specific setup. So yeah, finding time to do my Twisted Band sampler every month, try and get through a band a month. That's the aim. I also really don't want to get it dirty because it's on white and I don't want to wash the silks just in case they run. So yeah, that one's quite specialist. But I really do want to get it done and framed because that's quite important to me. Pardon me, all the gurgles today. Some other bits and bobs that I have acquired. It's mostly fabric and it's rustly. So, welcome to Rustletown. These 3 are from Paul Stitchers. I ordered them in September. They came in mid-December, so that's 3.5 months, which is not horrific, but it's not fantastic. I would say I went into it kind of knowing that it was going to take that long, but be prepared if you're ordering from. Be prepared. They are incredible though. So. This is Sea Siren, and it's incredible. Barley Sunset. Pastimes. And Barley Sunset is what I want to stitch. Enchantress of the Cursed Sea, Temptress of the Cursed Sea, which is a Bella Filipina design on. There she is. So that's on this. I think it's going to look great. I also got the Embroidery fabric advent. I forgot that I'd got it, and then it arrived and I was excited. So I got 3 different fabrics. It was 1 a week. I haven't opened Christmas Day's one yet because I am silly. So those are the 3 that I got, and then you got a thread with each one as well. So there's there's that one thread. There it is. So yeah, very excited about those. And I think, oh yeah. This book. I have not yet managed to get past the first couple of pages. I've had it for a month. That is just because it takes a lot for me to read. I want to read in bed. This is not a read in bed book because it's so heavy. So I just need to make time to read it not in bed, but I'm quite excited too. I know there are a few things from this that people like diligently do every day, like artist pages in the morning is originally from this. So I'm quite excited to read it and see if I can get into it. But yes, so I'll be working through this year. And that is everything. That is everything. It's been really nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.